we've been back down here doing some more hunting, and took a skeleton crew this time. I'm just sort of winging it on the camera work. I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty terrible, but that's kind of the fun of it, isn't it? So, you know, we've been down doing some hunting, and you know, we finished out that Fugly Mosin that we've been playing around with. It started out as the Obrez. We've been trying to harvest some deer with it and trying to collect some data and kind of see, you know, what it can do. And Chad and I determined that that gun, you know, actually generates a pretty decent amount of power. And we've always said that 1,000 foot-pounds threshold is kind of important for deer hunting. Now the trajectory does become a bit more elliptical once you get out past that 200 mark, but at 200 it only drops about 6 inches. For my purposes, I'm pretty impressed with that, and I think that this evening we're going to be able to go get in the woods and definitely shoot a deer with that thing. I already shot one a couple of weeks ago. It was just a small doe, and don't get me wrong, it did the job, but I had the gun in its original configuration, and you know, it did fine, but I wanted to change it up, put the folding stock on there, put the Leupold Scout scope on there. We actually missed our wake-up call this morning, so we missed the opportunity to go out this morning, which is highly irresponsible of me, but what is deer camp without a little bit of irresponsibility? Anyway, here we are, so I'm making breakfast to make up for it. We win either way, don't we? But we've been down, and yesterday I saw a little buck, nothing worth shooting. I did film him for a minute, and what I was surprised about too is it took me forever to get out of the woods. I was trying to be quiet, but I did a little experiment, and I was going to see how much noise I could make before he would leave. I was kind of surprised how much noise I made. And that buck sat there and ate and ate and ate, and I'm thinking, dude, okay. It does kind of restore a bit of your faith in just how much noise you really can make and that deer not really care. But maybe he just thought I wasn't a threat or something. I don't know. But I want to acknowledge something real quick before we cook this bacon. I've still got a little bit of burning down to do here on the fire, but you know, a lot of people say, well, you hunt over corn. That's not really hunting. I mean, look, this is the way I look at it. I'm trying to film. I'm trying to document things. I'm trying to, you know, test out and the performance capabilities of certain guns and things like that. So the corn gives me a little bit of help, you know, to kind of get the deer where I can film them easier. And look, man, when those guys are out there doing those hunting shows, all right, and they're running their cameras and all this mess, and you see these guys doing like archery stuff, and they're shooting giant bucks out of climbing stands, and they're self-filming and all. I mean, dude, I'm gonna tell you, it's a miraculous amount of work that those guys do to achieve those shots. Because when you're trying to maneuver cameras around, and you know, maybe we just need to come up with a better solution for filming, but a lot of people will accuse me, oh, well, you're not a real hunter, you don't spot and stalk, or you don't get out and walk around. Guys, I do plenty of that. It's just impossible to film it. If I'm going to bring y'all along, I have to find a way that is a happy medium between, let's just say, an ethical shot, like ethical hunting, if there ever is such a thing, and, you know, we don't want to absolutely cheat. I mean, look, like, we've done high fence stuff before when it comes to filming, and I must admit that I don't really agree with high fence hunting. I've done some high fence hunts. I'm not going to say it's unethical, because it's not unethical to go on a farm and shoot a pig and cook it, right? Like, you're going to eat it and process it and make a meal out of it. But I think that what it comes down to is, you know, I do like fair chase. I like being able to just go out on a property and just find deer in their natural habitat, and they have a fair chance to do their thing. You know, they chose to come into the food. So I just feel like the corn is, I think people make a much bigger deal about the corn than they really should. I think they just get overly upset about it for no reason. Because think about it. On an average year, we feed these deer we feed them at least 3,000 pounds of corn a year. All right. How many hundreds of deer are eating that corn? All right. Hundreds. And out of those hundreds, we shoot 2 or 3, maybe 4. I think one year total we shot 14. Now that was quite a few. But this year, we haven't shot that many. So the way I look at it, it's sort of live and let die scenario. I mean, yeah, you're harvesting a couple of deer, but you're also making sure that the rest of the herd is safe and that they can be well fed, right? Big bucks start growing in mama's belly, don't they? Right? Well, if mama has plenty of corn and protein and food and forage and safety and water and all of those things, what's she going to do? It's just like a woman, a human woman, right? The better the nutrition, the better the lower the stress of the mother, the healthier pregnancy she's going to have, right? Deer are the same way. That deer is going to carry that baby buck, and that baby buck, it can grow into a big buck. So it's like feeding the does. Yeah, the does eat a lot of corn. You got to have a healthy doe population to have a healthy buck population, right? Your bucks aren't going to hang out unless there's does to go after. They're going, hey, baby, where you at? Come on, like Beetlejuice. Hey, baby, and like they, so you have to have does out there. So it's just all about give and take and compromise, and and to me, hunting over bait is one little compromise I'm willing to make in the interest of trying to get some footage and to film stuff and to document what I'm trying to do. So people might get upset about it, but you know what? I don't really give a crap what they think. Get out and hunt. Hunt how you can hunt. Get it however you can get it. Now, unfortunately, this property is not my backyard. If it was, it might be a different story. I might put camera mounts on the trees, telling what kind of Michael Bay crap I would do. But in the interest of, hey, grabbing a camera and getting in the woods, I think I can be given a slight mulligan on the use of bait to achieve my filming goals. I just want to mention that before I cook this breakfast. I think we're ready. This has been quite an eventful morning. Got old Fugly out here. All right, looking good. Okay. It was kind of a slow morning, and I decided to get the grunt out, and I started blowing on the grunt a little bit, and I grunted in 3 bucks, 2 spikes, and a decent 6-pointer, maybe some decent size to him. I decided to shoot the 6-pointer. Well, I heard him pile up over here in the bushes. I think he's definitely dead right over there. I got a good shot on him. Something told me to just sit here a little bit longer because, Fugly here, it's only a 10.5-inch barrel and it's suppressed. It's not very loud, especially on a close-range shot. I don't think we really got much of a crack. I'm not sure what the camera's going to pick up on that. But I started blowing a little bit more, and I decided to, grunt a little bit more. And I had a different spike come in from a different direction, and then I had a big old cow horn spike come in down the trail here, and then I had this bruiser buck step out, and he has kind of a little non-typical weird looking rack, but one side looked like it was at least 4 or 5 points, big old thick tines. Let's see if we can find him, shall we? We definitely got some meat in the freezer. Maybe not trophy bucks, but I filled 2 buck tags on one hunt. I'll take what I can get on a late season hunt. Let's go see if we can find these deer. All right, there's buck number 1 with Fugly. All right, this was the buck that was just right over here. Shot him. He ran through this opening, piled up just right over here. Now I'm gonna move the camera. I wanna show you something really interesting about the second buck that we shot with Fugly. One moment. Okay, here's how we know that the second shot that we made on our second buck was successful. We can see that lung blood. We got a good shoulder shot. I mean, that's chunks of lung, so he didn't go far. I saw him cross the trail on here. I'm gonna check over here in the wood line. Oh man. Look at this briars that are stuck to him. I just had to drag this sucker out of the woods over here. He ran over here to the right, crossed back over the trail, and then he ran about that way, oh, maybe 40, 50 feet, maybe 60 feet, and then piled up right over there. Good lung shot. Our assessment was correct on the lung blood, perfect lung shot. A little high in the shoulder, but we took the running gears out, looked good. Looks like he probably had this one broken off at one point. He's got a couple of those little show tines coming through right there. It's unfortunate he's only 2 on this side, but real thick tines, good and gray in the face. It's probably a 4-year-old deer, maybe 5. We'll have to look at the teeth to really know, but good, healthy South Georgia buck. Fugly out here taking names, so you know the hog was really fun. You know, we never recovered that hog, but he was a pretty big animal. And I think that this proves that, you know, the 10.5-inch barrel with the 7.62 by 54 is a great deer hunting setup. And I do plan on using this gun for a lot more hunting in the future. And I've always wanted to know how well this rifle performed, you know, on game. So that was a 180 grain S&B factory soft point. In time, as the projectiles become a little bit more easy to get, I will do some hand loading experimentation to try to get, you know, maybe a little bit better load dialed in. But for now, good stuff. Hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for tuning in. That's been our hunt with Fugly Mark II. Have a good one.